Hello. Thought I'd use this opportunity, doing a job that I hate, hanging up my washing, to just share a little update on where we're at, because lots of you lovely folk have asked how things are getting on, co-parenting, and lots of people are in the same situation as me, which is shitty. Sorry that other people are having to go through this, because it is absolutely zero fun at all. How am I doing? I'm doing okay, I guess. I am just trying to get on with things, sort through all the life admin that comes with divorcing and separating from someone you've been with for the best part of your adult life. There's a lot of stuff to sort of sort through and unpick and detangle, and I'm sort of trudging through that, and I'm trying really hard to look after myself, recognise what my needs are and prioritise them. Still putting the children first because they are my priority, but I'm recognising certainly that in order to be the best for them, I need to actually look after myself, which I don't think I've truly done for a really long time. The arrangement that we have and that we've agreed on is an exact 50-50 split on childcare, which has been a massive shock to the system for me as someone who has been there with the children for pretty much 100% of their entire lives. So going from 100% to 50% literally overnight was a culture shock, and it's still taking some getting used to. I am trying to make the most of the time I now suddenly have to do things like this, get on top of the washing, tidy the house, look after stuff and do the boring things when they're not here, so that when they are here I can be much more present for them, which is awesome and a real privilege, because previously they'd ask me to play or read books or do a myriad of different things, and a lot of the time I found myself saying, oh, I'll do that in a minute, or I can't do that right now because I have to hang the wash out, or I have to make dinner, or I have to get your bedroom ready for bed, or any number of other things. And now, because I can do all of that stuff when they're not here, it gives me the freedom to be really present with them when they are. So that's really, really nice. And I've been really enjoying doing things I haven't really done a lot of with them, like playing Lego and watching television with them. I never sit down on the sofa and watch TV with them. That's been quite nice, and I think they've really been enjoying that connection and having a more present me. But equally, when they're not here, the house feels really, really quiet, and I find myself sort of bumbling around, really. Like, I'm so used to tidying up after them all of the time, and I sort of mentioned it in a reel the other day, but like, once I tidy the house when they're not with me, that's it. It's tidy. It's just a really odd shift, I guess, in pace, and it's given me loads of time to focus on my business and to build up, or try to start building up, some financial independence, which is incredibly necessary after 7 years essentially being a full-time parent and stay-at-home mum. I think things are going well. The children are doing really well. Of course, it's a massive change. Of course, they are finding elements of it difficult. All four of us are, I think. But ultimately, the top line is that it's logistically going really well from a co-parenting perspective. Feel like the children know where they're at in terms of who's picking them up from school and where they're going to be staying each night. And I think we've done that together really well. And I hope that the children will look back, and we'll look back in time and think, yeah, we handled that pretty well. The childcare split that we're doing is 2-2-5-5, which basically means that over a 2-week period, we sort of like rotate. We have 2 weekdays each that don't change, so the children know which days are mummy days and which days are daddy days. And then outside of that, we switch over Friday and the weekend, which means that 1 week we have 2 nights each, and then we have 5 nights with Jack and then 5 nights with me. And that has been the hardest thing. Neither of us wanted the children to feel like they were little nomads living out of suitcases or switching around all the time. So a slightly couple of slightly longer, more settled periods in each house felt like the right thing to do, but it is really hard to have 5 days without seeing them. And that's the part I'm struggling with the most. I miss them an awful lot when I'm not with them. But I don't know, that's where we're at. I'm hopeful that at some point in the not too distant future we can start to do things together once the dust has settled as a family a little bit more, like not all the time, but just show the children that we can still spend time together, all 4 of us, and show them how loved they are, and that even though Mummy and Daddy are no longer together, that there is a way that you can do this that still means that there's good communication between us and that the children get to feel that complete family unit at times, and that gives them reassurance and stability. Because I'd love for Christmases and birthdays and family events to be able to be everyone together and not have to have like rigid splits. But obviously with divorce, things aren't 100% perfect and easy, and there are still things that both of us need to process that make hanging out together and being a happy clappy family slightly strained. My hope is that that won't be forever, or at least it won't be for much longer really, because hopefully once the divorce is finalised and everything's agreed and we all know where we stand, it will feel easier to spend time together, I guess, albeit in my eyes just like, you know, a couple of hours at the park, all 4 of us, or dinner at one of our houses, just to show the kids that everything's okay. Yeah, watch this space. I guess I will keep updating you lot because, like I said, it seems like there's a fair few people I've slid into my DMs that are in a very similar situation, and so if I can share my experience and maybe normalise it a little bit and talk through it and be open about it, that it might help somebody else in a similar boat. But I am by no means, you know, out the other side or having the most wonderful time. I'm still very much trudging through shit every day, but I'm just trying to navigate it in the best way that I can with my children as the main focus, and making sure that I act in ways that align with my values. Like, I have no interest in point scoring or being petty or resentful or tit for tat, and I will and always have maintained like open and honest communication, because I just think that's so important. I just want to be able to look back in years to come and think, you know what, that was really, really hard, but I did that. Like, I acted in a way that was like true to myself, and I hope that the children will see that too and think, Mummy did good. You know, it was tricky, but she handled it with grace. Whenever I think of like grace, actually, it makes me think of that, sorry, this is a tangent, but that Come Dine With Me episode with What a Sad Little Life, Jane. And that guy said she had the grace and decorum of a reversing dump truck with no tyres. But I'm hoping to navigate this divorce, maybe like a reversing dump truck, at least with tyres. I don't know, but I'm doing my best. I'm showing up every day. I'm trying to look after myself. I'm very much making sure the children are loved and cared for and know how much I love them. And I guess that is all that I can do. So yeah, that is it from me. Still got more washing to hang up. Love you, bye.